All right, so we did Revitalizing K through 12 Civic Learning in California, a blueprint for action. Essentially, this is a movement that wants to incorporate ideas and practices of civic learning into the curriculum of K through 12 grades. The current standards make that difficult to do for each and every grade level. The requirements for standards make that tough to adjust to incorporate the ideas and practices of civic learning. The movement also wants to include civic learning into all subject areas, including math, science, English, language arts, and visual arts as well. The context and rationale of this is essentially to prepare students with civic knowledge, skills, and values needed to be successful in their careers, civic life, and college. Some statistics to show the results of the lack of civic learning in education includes only 13% of high school seniors demonstrated a solid understanding of U.S. history, so that needs to be improved. Along with California specifically, less than half of high school seniors believe it's their responsibility to actively engage in state and local issues. Some benefits to actively engaging students in civic learning include children and teens learn necessary skills to prepare them for the workplace in the 21st century. This includes critical thinking skills, problem solving, communication, creativity, innovation. It also promotes academic achievement and relates schools to real life.
And I'm going to continue on with context and rationale. The civic framework continues to talk about the civic mission of school, California civic promise, and California civic crisis, and the current state of civic education in California. The civic mission of schools talks about how civics has become an afterthought in teaching students how to become a good citizen needs to be involved in our schools kindergarten through 12. Especially in a society where we're so polarized at the national level. It continues with the California Civics Promise. California's casting promise is to ensure that every school in every district integrates high-quality civic learning practices into instruction in school life. So the overall goal is for all students in California to get the instruction, support, and experiences they need to become informed voters and active community members that value civic life and experiences. The current civic crisis in California, civic participation has been gradually declining since World War One. The United States is currently 139th in voting participation in the entire world. And in our 18 to 24 population, less than half of the people actually voted in our past election. And only 60% of high school students passed a civic exam given to them that test them on modern government and our political issues in our current society. And then the context rationale continues with the current state of civic education in California, kind of generalizing the typical K through 12 experience that people get in schools. The civic experience overall just talks about how memorizing is the key emphasis, not really giving actual context to society, just memorizing key facts, key dates, etc. And they talk about how they don't really access society readiness. When you get out of schools, these high schoolers aren't really necessarily prepared to be active and contributing citizens in our society. It also talks about how we only have one government course given in our K-12 experience. So all the way going through 11th grade, they're not giving any context in how to be citizens in our society, and they're just given one quick little year of how to be citizens in our country. And then it talks about how our standards are 15 years old and outdated, and how the programs aren't evenly distributed throughout our schools. Especially the main group that is actually given access to this education are typically white, upper middle class students. Okay, so we're going to continue on context and rationale. This is our third slide on that, and my name is Andres, by the way, your third speaker on the presentation. The first section, urgent need for civic learning and its many benefits, talks about the high quality of civic learning, especially how it engages students by making what they learn at school more relevant to real life. It also promotes academic achievement and prevents some students from dropping out. Research shows that young people are more likely to vote if they have taken civic classes. It continues talking about how civic learning is good for diverse communities, such as California's, Given that California is filled with many English language learners, recent immigrants, minority groups, insulated societies, and undocumented students. The next section it talks about in context and rationale is quality civic learning defined. It mentions 6 proven practices, which include classroom instruction in government, history, geography, law, democracy, and economics. The second being discussion of current events and controversial issues. The third, service learning experiences that are directly linked to curriculum and instruction. The fourth, extracurricular activities. The fifth, student participation in school governance. And finally, the last, simulations of democratic processes. The next section talks about civic learning outcomes. It talks about 3 specifically: civic knowledge, civic skills, and civic values. The first 2 are very similar. Civic knowledge is more obviously knowing how to engage civically, whereas the second one regarding skills is more about the actual practice of engaging in civic engagement. Some examples of skills would be uh, the ability to be able to vote, be able to communicate fluently, the ability to use technology and other forms of media, the ability to listen, things like that. Whereas knowledge is more understanding the democratic process, your local state process, who's your mayor, and things like that. Civic values is a little bit different, where it demonstrates more for the concern of the rights and well-being of others. For example, tolerance, appreciation of public leaders, um, the being proud of having a sense of civic duty is another one that they include, and then just being aware of the power that a citizen holds with their civic opportunities they have in this country. And finally, the last section in context and rationale is the time is to act now. This emphasizes on how right now, currently in California, there's never been a better or more crucial time to promote civic engagement, given they list a bunch of public education reforms that were approved back in 2014 that are currently in the process of being applied to the public school system. This part talks about how we can take advantage of these reforms and closely attach them to civic engagement in order to kill two birds, kill 2 birds with one stone, essentially. Civic learning can actually help us ultimately with many of these reforms, and we can take advantage of that. And that's essentially the essence of context.
Everyone, this is Carlos. Earlier, we discussed about the why we need to have civic learning about our K-12 system. Now we're going to talk about the recommendations and how to achieve this goal. First, we're going to discuss the standards, assessment, accountability, and incentives that should be involved in. Implicit civic learning in all curriculum from K-12 and is meaning that from the moment that a child enters the school system, they should be learning at least some shape or form about civic duties and citizenship. Also have assessments throughout the years on civic learning, making sure that they are up to standard in terms of where they need to be. And specialized schools are coming up with ways to assess civics. So whether that being having UN clubs, whether it's being public outreach, that sort of thing. The next way we can implement civic duty or civic learning in the schools is by the teachers themselves. We want to promote teachers and the administration in taking a social science methods course. This way, they have a good understanding of what it is like to be able to teach and promote it efficiently. Also, have teachers emphasize civics in their lessons. And at the school level, at a macro level, be involved in civics as for itself or your community. Civics teaching should also follow the 6 practices that was previously. And also, history social science to have its own dedicated time in K-12. To find that there should be at least an hour a day or in the lesson itself so that students can learn more about. So finally, the curriculum. By integrating civics into the Common Core standards for English language arts would help reduce the time for teachers separately. So meaning that by killing 2 birds with one stone, we can get this done a lot faster. Same goes for other subjects, whether that's being arts, math, science, etc.
Hello everyone, this this is Robert. So I'll be kind of wrapping up here in a way with the implications for history and social science. These are the things that we came up with that we thought were the key points for this civic learning implementation kind of framework, but it's not really a framework, but this is what we were thinking. So first thing, creates informed, active, and educated citizens. Second, prepares students by developing the competencies necessary to compete and thrive in a changing global economy. And third, applies academic concepts in the real world. So kind of how the article ties itself up at the end and throughout the article with the context and rationale is really getting students involved in the community from the classroom to local government to business to just getting students aware of how civic learning doesn't end in high school. It isn't just a government class where you check a box and you check out and then you go on to your life and you say, well, you know, politics, whatever, I gotta work, I gotta go to college. We want students to be aware that they are important to that process. Without them, we don't have civics. We don't have a democracy. We need students to be engaged throughout high school and into their adult lives, or the system does not work. So the end of the articles really goes into just how students and how schools can implement civic learning through approaching their local businesses, getting them involved to come speak in schools, to have scholarships, to reward students for being good civic citizens, to have judges come and talk, to just getting students aware of, hey, you need to register to vote, or the Model UN. So there's all sorts of ways that students can be guided towards becoming more civically aware. So yeah, so this slide here is just simply some resources that are located throughout the article that speak towards the importance of civic learning, or examples of individuals and organizations that are helping to establish this sort of framework in education in California.
All right, this is Keely again. I'm going to finish up here with our last slide. We've laid out some questions for you to consider. A few of them are, do you agree with integrating civic learning into the curriculum for all grade levels? What are some recommendations you have for successfully transitioning into a civic learning-based curriculum or the community? And is being civic considered conforming to a mainstream society? Please take time and think about these questions, and you can respond in the comments. Thank you.